Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the LA Media platform. My beautiful guest today is Lena. Yeah, is it Lena?
Nyan.
Hold on a second. Nian,
You just
but I keep saying Jai because of Soman Jai, and we've just discussed it a minute ago. Oh my
when you
God.
still want to do it. It's fine. Hakazin
Yeah,
jive.
it's stuck in my head. It's stuck in my head, but it's a good thing. It's a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome to the Elite Media platform, Elena. Thank you very much for joining us today, all the way
Thank you.
from the Gambia. And we are pleased to have you on board. Before we start anything, I'll allow you to introduce yourself, education, whatever you want to throw it in. It's just a
Okay,
conversation.
okay.
It's not an interview.
Okay. Okay, well, I'm Lena. I think you've invited me here today mainly because of my photography. That's what I do. I'm a photographer. That's always been my passion, and yeah, that's my main thing. Then that's my main thing.
Yeah.
And then I also
I've just
the
lost
organizer.
the voice. The voice is gone, Lena. I can't hear you.
My voice. Read my lips. Hello?
Okay, do it. Let me read your lips.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you now. It's perfect now.
Okay, great. Okay, so yeah, photography is the main thing that I do. It's always been my passion and my first love. But
Lena,
I
allow me to
also
ask you the question. I just said to introduce yourself. That's it. Allow
ah
me to ask you the questions.
okay, we're starting. I'm so sorry.
It's all right. It's okay.
Okay, sorry. I'll be quiet.
Balala, balala. By the way, Lena, can you speak Wolof?
Yes, a little bit. Please, let's not do it in
Eh,
Wall of because you'll embarrass me.
no, I'll forgive you. I'll forgive you. Anyway, comme am mbokk yi rek ni ma ko dee waxee rek saa su ne rek tey rek suma gan gi ma dalal ci kër gi fii Lena lañ jaay sama bi
Uh-huh.
ñaan la moom laa invite bi tey. Anyway, Lena is in Gambia right now. She is the founder of the Fashion Weekend Gambia. I think a lot of people know you for the Fashion Weekend Gambia than the photography. Yes, people do know that you are a photographer, and
Mm-hmm.
at some point people keep saying, to me, la jigéen
Mm-hmm.
bi day nataal a ngi nii post nataal bi, and I keep saying no. The first female photographer in the Gambia that I know of is Lena, not me.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just joining in, actually. Yeah. You're an inspiration. You inspire me. I saw what you do, and a lot of people saw what you do, and they fall in love with your work. First of all, we start with that. Uh, no, let's go back a little bit. All
Mm-hmm.
right. A lot of people keep saying you're not Gambian.
Oh, really? So
So
what
let's
am I?
let's 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 clarify that. Let's
Okay,
keep
let's
Gambian. So tell
clarify.
us a little bit about you. A bit about you.
Okay, well, I am Gambian. I've always been a Gambian. I grew up in Sweden though, so I'm half Swedish and half Gambian. But I'd like to identify myself as a Gambian because growing up in Sweden, you always get asked, where are you from? Where are you from? Obviously, because you don't look like a Swedish person. So I would always answer, I'm from Gambia. So, yeah, I am Gambian. There you go.
Yeah. You say you grew up in Gambia, so in
No, I
Sweden.
grew up in
Sorry, does
Sweden.
that mean that you were born in Gambia, or
No,
were
I
you
was
born in
born in
Gambia?
I was born in Sweden.
Okay, you were born in Sweden. All
Yeah.
right. Why all of a sudden the Gambia? Because now you're living in the Gambia. Why did you leave Sweden to come to the Gambia and stay?
Well, before I even came, I was in England, so I went from Sweden to England to study. And then I did come here quite a lot, like on holidays and whatnot, and I just love the place. And my dad moved back, and that kind of just, I don't know, I just felt like I really wanted to come back. So, yeah, I just decided I was fed up with living in the West and I wanted to try it out, and that's what I did.
I'm very jealous right now. I wish I could do that.
You
Anyways.
can, you can. I'd like to encourage as many people. that. Like, it was definitely the greatest move that I made. I mean,
Was
I
there
think
any
I'm a bit
challenges?
of a like.
Was there any challenges?
There's been loads of challenges. I think the easy bit about it is that I never really expected anything. I just knew that I loved the place and I wanted to come here. And I kept on planning and planning, and then I said, you know what, let me just go for a month and see if I can get a job or figure out what to do, and then I'll stay. So that's what I did, and I guess it was a smooth ride for me. Um, I guess, coming from Europe as well, it kind of it kind of made it kind of easy for me to find something to do and all of that. And I think when you come from abroad, you have all these ideas and whatnot, and you see it's easier to see opportunity, I think. So yeah, I came. I didn't really expect anything. I came. I started working. At that point, I started working with Lamin Marena, Studio 361. Was then called the studio. So yeah, and then I just decided to stay, and yeah, that was it really. So I think the challenges were, as with anywhere that you move, it's a change of environment, and you gotta adjust to the system, and that always takes some time. Um, and obviously, comparing it to, let's say, Sweden, where everything is like always on time and everything is working and it's very like everything has a system. It could be frustrating at times when you want to do things and everything just takes long. But at the same time, I kind of love that about Gambia, because you can, there's always a way around things. You don't really have to like go through a certain system. You can just say, I'm going to do this, and you can do it. So yeah, so I mean, it has its ups and downs, but it's been pretty smooth.
People take advantage, and not in a bad way. I mean, advantage of like, you are obviously when you first came, you were speaking English or Swedish, not Wolof, and did people take advantage of it, thinking that okay, kimun nang po na and stuff like that? Did you have to go through that?
I think to a certain extent, I mean, you can't avoid it, but I can't say that there's been anything that's like really been. No, I don't. No.
Not a bad one.
No, not really. I mean, I guess it's different if you come and you don't really have a clue about things and you try and just throw yourself into doing stuff without knowing people, or, but I have family here and I have a good support system. So I think that's kind of made it easier as well. I mean, of course, you can get ripped off and stuff all the time. It happens all the time, but yeah.
Have you ever had that? Have you ever had that moment where you went out to buy something and you feel cheated because you were speaking English? I mean, that's
yeah, yeah. It happens all the time. It happens all the time. But sometimes, I mean, you can get pissed off about it or whatever. But sometimes I'm just like, you know what? If I had it, I had it. If they managed to cheat me and I paid for it, like, so what? You get it back in other ways.
Do you argue your way around it? Because I do sometimes. Sometimes I get so frustrated. I say, look, hold on, bulma charge me. Yang ma charge because yang feel ne yellow sisila. I'm from abroad and stuff like that. Sometimes I do get into arguments with them, knowing that the price they're charging me is not the normal price that they would have charged the Fatoumata Koka that would come and speak the Gambian Wolof, proper Gambian Wolof, or is, I don't know how they spot people out. Like, how do they spot that okay, is not from Gambia right now?
But you can. I'm telling you, even the longer I'm here, I sit and spot people too. I think this is the thing.
Oh God. Oh God.
But yeah, I mean, obviously it happens. I mean, if people do really foolish stuff, I just walk away. I'm just like, you know what? Let's not even have this argument.
Okay.
And that's it, really. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And you said you went to England to studies. What did you study in England?
Sorry, I couldn't hear you.
Yeah, you said you went to England to study. What did you study in England?
Okay. I studied graphic design for advertising and photography.
Oh, now I cannot read your lips.
You can't read my lips. Okay. Should I illustrate? I studied photography
Yes, that's better.
and graphic design. Yeah,
Oh, graphic design and photography. Did
yeah.
you? Okay. At least, the reason why I asked, okay, maybe I'm not 100% sure if I knew what you really did in
Mm-hmm.
England, but I know you somehow studied photography and stuff like that. The reason why I'm
Mm-hmm.
asking, so that people who know the background of it, you're not just like me who just came into the scene, went to YouTube, learned to do stuff, and then come and say, okay, now I'm a photographer. I'm very honest about it. Right? You went to
Yeah.
school for it. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I've actually, like, my whole background is basically within art. So I went to art school and I did fine arts and photography. Then I did a course in videography, and then I did graphic design for advertising and also an add-on course in photography. So yeah, that's pretty much what I
And
did.
since then, you are on the same lane. I can see that you're still on
Yeah,
the same lane.
yeah, yeah,
People
yeah.
like me tend to move from one thing to another, jump to, I do the
Yeah, no,
Gambian
I
thing.
think, I mean, I think I do a lot of different things, but it's all
Things, yeah,
within the creative area.
area, yeah, that's good. And yeah, of course, you would face a lot of challenges being a female photographer in the Gambia. I know that for
Hmm.
sure, 100%. You face a lot of challenges because it's something that is photography is dominated by men. People
Hmm.
see it as a men thing. They don't really see it as a woman thing. There's a unique side of it because when people see you holding a camera, but now there's a lot of female photographers in the Gambia now.
Yeah.
But before, when they see you with a camera, it's like, wow, damn, she looks sexy. Or someone would say, oh my God, a female photographer. Oh my
Hmm.
God, she's doing exactly the same like Alajimanka would do, other people would do,
Hmm.
jumping from one speaker to another. And so, what are the challenges you face with, like, within these guys being a female photographer in the Gambia?
You know, it's funny that you asked that because I think there's been so much discussions lately about challenges that we're facing, not necessarily just as a female, but being black and all of that, and
Yeah.
um, it's just really got me thinking about things that you've been going through or like that I've been going through. But I think for me, I've always kind of had an outlook on life where I haven't really looked at challenges. I've just
Yeah.
been I'm just the go-getter type of person. Like if I want to do something, I just go and do it. So I've never really thought much about like, oh, it's difficult being a female photography in a male dominated area or whatever. I think I've just maybe ignored those
Mm.
things. Um, I think it's mostly, little stupid things like you go to an
Mm.
event and there's all these guys there with their cameras and they're trying to tell you what to do. Or they'll be like, "Oh, you're not using a flash.
Mm.
You should use the flash, or you should turn the camera this way." And I'm like, "Well, just mind your business. Like, I got this." But
Exactly what you're saying. Mm.
yeah, but I think apart from that, like obviously there's always situations where yeah, people look at you maybe not really from a professional point of view, but like you're saying, they look at you in other ways. But yeah, I don't know. I think like I said, I'm just a go-getter. Like that's just my passion and I believe in what I do. So I haven't really been I mean, I can't say I haven't been facing challenges, but I think um I just try to kind of push through and do what I do.
Mm.
It's just sometimes you can see like favoritism where, when people choose somebody and they'll go for the guy because it's a guy or whatever, or maybe they'll try to bring your prices down because they don't, stuff like that. But yeah, on a whole, I think
Talking of
it's been
prizes,
okay.
I mean, do you think photography in the Gambia is worth it? I mean, do people pay the price for it? Because I know in Sweden,
Um,
an hour you get a lot of money. I know
yeah,
that for sure. I
yeah,
work with people and I work with hourly in Gambia. You work with them. It's like you work with them for 2 days for the price of 1 hour in Sweden.
yeah,
Let's
yeah,
be
yeah.
realistic, but we can compare them. But I mean, is it worth it in Gambia photography? Is it really?
Um, I mean, there's always people who don't want to pay for things. I think, especially like when it comes to the creative industry, people don't really value it. or see the value of it, especially now with when everybody has a smartphone and the cameras are getting great. And even me, sometimes I feel like I have some of my friends that want to hire me for stuff, and then they take a picture with their phone, and I'm like, you could have just done this yourself, like, but yeah, I do. There are people who understand it and value it, and then there's those who are just like, but it's just a picture, or they'll be like, oh, but I don't need much. I just need two photos, and you're like, yeah, but it's not just not gonna snap two photos. Like, it doesn't work like that, But yeah, but I think you just gotta prove yourself and work with the people who believe in what you do, um, and kind of let that guide you, and then try not to drop your own value too much. I think that's one of the challenges in the beginning. I found it really difficult to charge people and know my value. So I would agree to do a lot of things for like free or for less, next to nothing. But then after a while, you're like, well, this is what I do for a living, and I have to get equipment, and you got to build up what you got, and it's not cheap. So yeah, I think with time, I've kind of learned to set my standards and my barriers, and just be like, this is what you got to pay. If you don't want to do it, then hire someone else.
Okay. You were breaking there, but I think we kind of. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you. Yes, I can hear you.
You're frozen now.
Yeah, I can
Can
hear
you
you.
hear me?
Yeah.
In terms of photography, you being a professional photographer, do you think people in Gambia know the value of photos? For instance, like they don't see it as proper art. They don't understand the language of photography. I come to realize that. But it's not about me, it's about you. Do you think they understand what photography is really? Because all they want to see is it is bright,
Yeah.
you can see their faces, and that's it. They don't
Yeah.
understand the language. They don't know the language of photography.
Yeah.
You tell them, you try to position them, you try to tell them stuff, but they just don't get it. Do you think they value photography?
I mean, I think we have a long way to go, in terms of arts in general. I think that it's important that we start teaching our children more about art and creative expressions, because I think that's really lacking. And like you
Um,
said, a lot of
from my end, you're breaking, Lena. I can
oh,
barely, I can barely
okay.
hear you from my end. I don't know
Oh,
if people can hear you. If you can hear Lena, so if you can hear Lena, please thumbs up, right, it, or someone say yes. If you can hear Lena.
can you hear me? I can hear everything clearly.
Yeah, you
I don't
keep
know.
breaking very badly. I don't know.
People are not
Yeah,
hearing me.
yeah. It's fine with you. They're throwing hearts. That means they can hear you. So for me, you go on then with that. If you can hear me, just go on.
Okay, I can hear you. Now I have no idea what I was saying.
Yeah, well, we're talking about value, like photographing, how people don't value it because
Oh
they
yeah,
don't
yeah, yeah.
understand the language of it.
Okay, yeah. So I was saying, I think it's important to start with the children really, and like focus more on creative arts in school, and just kind of, yeah, just really push creativity more, because I think a lot of time, like you're saying, people just want a bright picture. They don't really understand the art of photography. They just want to see themselves looking
Mm.
nice and bright, and that's it. Um, and yeah, so I think we have a long way to go, but at the same time, like I said, there's a lot of young photographers popping up. And I mean, with the whole music industry growing the way it is as well, I think that at the same time will also lift the other creative industries. So with time, we'll get there. Obviously, it's not like anywhere else, really. Like I went to Dakar to do an exhibition 2 years ago, and I was just shocked. I was like, wow, people really love
Mm.
art. Like
Yeah.
they want to buy my stuff. Like they want to pay for it. I was like, what is this? This is new. Um, but that really encouraged me, and I kind of felt like, yeah, we need to do more over here. Like we have a responsibility to move this forward to the next level. And I mean, like I said, there's a lot of young creatives coming up, and I think with them, there's going to be a change. So I'm hopeful.
Do you have a studio of your own in the Gambia?
I'm sharing it with STS Pictures. So
SDS
he's
Pictures,
using it.
okay.
Yeah, so he's using it for music videos mostly, uh, which is not very often, but still, when he's just using for training as well. And yeah, that's where I do my most of my shoots. So
Okay.
yeah.
All right. It's a question that I have to ask. Has photography done anything for you? What have you achieved as a photographer? We don't. I'm not talking about other stuff that you have done.
Uh-huh.
As a photographer, what have you achieved as a photographer? What has it done for you?
Um, okay, when you say achieved, I'm not sure exactly how you mean, but I mean, photography
Okay.
is really my life. Like it's been a way, that's the way I express myself, and like yeah, like so. I guess that's achieving something. Um,
Yeah.
but it I don't know if you mean in terms of like work wise.
In terms of
Okay, yeah.
recognition out of the Gambia, like you mentioned
Um,
Senegal, yeah, apart from Senegal,
yeah.
what, yeah.
Well, I mean, I think I've done a few things here and there. Like I've done a few shoots for magazines, did some work for Brussels Airlines in-flight magazine. I've done some stuff for Fashion Ghana magazine. A few different things, and I mean, I worked with both Gambian and international designers and whatnot. But I think the main thing that I feel is like what you said. When I went to Dakar, that was really um,
Mm.
because it was just on another level. Because I did a collaboration, so I worked with other creative artists in different fields. So we had like BJ Down Thomas. She was doing furniture, and then she had some other creators that she knew that were basically got a house, and they decorated the whole house with different things, and then I got to do the photography. So it was like a full installation kind of thing. But there you have like proper people within the arts who come and see your work. Um, so I think that really felt like an achievement for me because I got to meet like people who run galleries and whatnot who would then buy my work and I'll meet some people in the media and whatnot. So that kind of felt like an achievement because it just pushed it a little bit further, a little bit outside the Gambian borders, and it kind of opened my eyes to see what opportunities I actually have, especially being in the Gambia that we don't, there's not much here, but that could actually be an advantage. Um, so that was one, and then end of last year, um, I was part of an exhibition in Zimbabwe. It was a festival celebrating women, and they contacted me to do an exhibition. They wanted one female artist, like creative artist from all different African countries. So they selected my work, and I got to exhibit it there. And that was supposed to be a traveling exhibition, but unfortunately, due to the whole corona situation, it's kind of been paused. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, well, you have done a lot then. You see, a lot more than I thought, a lot more than what people think anyway. Because
Yeah,
the reason
yeah,
why I'm asking all these questions is people just see photographers as like, oh, nothing, it's just gone now. To be honest, it's gone now, it's dead.
yeah,
Photography, being a photographer is not working anymore. Even a videographer, so because now everybody's doing Facebook Live. Now people
yeah,
even
yeah,
don't
yeah,
hire people. I got a lot of people hiring me to come and do Facebook Live for their weddings, naming
yeah, yeah,
ceremonies
yeah,
and all that. They just
yeah.
don't want to keep, and I keep saying to people, don't rely on Facebook Live.
Mhm.
You need to hire a videographer, to come and video the actual thing and so that you can keep it.
Yeah.
That's, your child should be able to see, that day. If you want that, your child is supposed to see that. But
Mhm.
doing the Facebook Live, I don't totally agree. But people actually hire people now just for Facebook Live and they pay handsomely more than they
Yeah,
would
yeah,
pay a videographer.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's a
And
different time.
Yes, I think the wall is moving. We are not
Yeah,
moving. We as people are not moving, but the wall is moving. Anyway, we're still stuck. I would say that as Gambians, but
yeah.
the wall is moving. Like my co-host is asking a question that I was gonna ask you, so I'm gonna share the question. Like, where did you get the creativity
Mm-hmm.
from, and what inspired you? I was gonna ask you that. Where's the inspiration from? Why a photographer?
Um, that's a really good question because I don't know. I just know that from I was a child, I've always loved photography. I really don't know where it came from. It's just always been there. Um, and yeah, I think my dad was pretty big on taking pictures everywhere, I think. Like yeah, he always wanted a nice picture of himself. So I guess that must have triggered it. And then I really wanted a camera. So he gave me my first camera when I think I was just 9 or 10 years old. One of those little ones with the film. Um, and yeah, I took that with me everywhere, like every outing, every school trip, like every birthday. I was the one taking pictures, and I even did like a photo shoot with my dolls. I did like a little studio shoot with them. So yeah, I just always loved photography. So yeah, I don't really know where it comes from. It's just something that's in me.
Passion. It's something that
Yeah,
you love.
yeah.
Anyway, I'll play a little video of some people identify some of them, and we can
Okay,
talk about it.
okay.
Okay, hold time. Yeah, it's right here. Hello.
Hello.
I cannot see much on my screen, but I hope it played on your screen. Let me try and play it again. I think it played, but I'm not 100%
Uh,
sure.
yeah, so a little bit.
Okay, let's try it again. Okay. Can you hear me, Lena?
Yes, I can.
Yes, I think I played the whole lot. Um, Beautiful pictures. I'm in love with the black and white pictures. I'm in love with black and white. I'm sure you can explain that after. And I'm in love with the lady who had that, that crazy hairstyle, the yellowish,
Yeah,
all the colors and stuff. Yeah. So
yeah.
what's behind those black and white pictures? I know you explained a little bit about that earlier on to me, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Okay, so the black and white pictures that I think all of them had two women in them is part of a series that I did. Actually, that's what was exhibited at the Biennale in Dakar 2 years ago, and it was basically based on the idea of promoting unity and kind of I wanted to do something against tribalism, to show, like, to really show the intimacy between the different tribes. Um, because I feel that I think when the whole political climate kind of changed, people started using tribalism against each other, and I just felt like there was so, I don't know. I just felt like, we're all Gambians and we live so closely together, and like families are all mixed up and whatnot. So I kind of wanted to do something to showcase that. Um, so what I did was I just asked people that I know and others, like, to just spread the word and say whoever wanted to be part of it, of this project. So in the pictures we have, like, for example, in one of the pictures we have two sisters, whereas one is a Mandinka and one is she's Jola. And in another one we have two best friends, where one is Mandinka and one is Fula. Another one is well, you get the drift. One is a Wolof and one is it's all mixed up.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's basically showing that, like, the love. I just really wanted to show the love and the intimacy, to kind of break those tribal boundaries. So yeah, that's basically the story behind those photos, and it's something that I really wanted to continue. And just, there's a lot of more photos part of that series, but I really wanted to continue it and try and do something with it here as well, to do an exhibition or a book or something with it, with like a deeper story to it. But I don't know, I have a problem with projects. Like, when I start something, I just gotta finish it. If things take too long, I just kind of lose interest along the way, it doesn't get finished. So I just need to like I just need to knock things out. That's how I work. So unfortunately, that one has been put on a standstill for now. But yeah, but if anybody wants to see more work, I have some more of it on.
You can tell them your website. You can tell them where to follow you, actually.
Okay, so you can follow me on Instagram. It's Lena Nian. Well, Lena underscore, is it under, yeah, underscore Nian, Nian, underscore photography. That's how to follow me on Instagram. And yeah, at the moment I'm only on Instagram. I also have some work on Afripedia, but most of my work is on Instagram at the moment.
Okay. And so, gallery. Before we, skip this photography thing, let's talk about gallery. It's a very important thing in a country to have a gallery, especially where you have a lot of photographers and you have a lot of painters. We have a lot of people love arts in Gambia, but I mean, gallery. Let's talk about it a little bit. What do you think?
I think we need. Well, I'm waiting for one. If I don't see one within a couple of years, I'll probably just create one. To be honest, because I did do an exhibition here as well, on my portraits. But I was like, where do I exhibit it? Like, the only place is really Alliance. So I went to Gaia and did one there, which was really nice, obviously. But it would be really, I think it's really needed to have a space. And it doesn't just have to be a gallery, but just a creative space. For people to just come and get inspired. Because I think it's difficult. And now, like I said, now I'm seeing photographers pop up and whatnot, and it's kind of nice to see people coming with some, different creativity and whatnot. But I think it's really important to share, to be able to share creativity and just, see other people's work and let it inspire you. Like, you see something and you think of something else and like, so yeah, we definitely need a gallery. Yeah, that should be a top priority, I think, like, within the creative industry.
And let's talk about this. People are just mixed up, especially photographers. They don't even know the difference of the categories of photography.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, here, or when I was doing whatever I did to become a photographer or whatever they call me, I had to study a little bit. I have to look do my research to understand that you cannot be a fashion photographer and then at the same time saying you in Gambia, they're all in one.
Yeah, yeah.
There has to be a fashion. Let's talk about the different photographer. You as a professional
Okay.
photographer, I'm sure you have the different categories. Yeah, people that shoot for
Well,
food, fashion. Let's talk about that a little bit.
I mean, I think that's a general problem. Like, it's not just within photography, it's anything. Anybody can be anything over here. Like, I guess, I
Yeah,
guess
but
it has
it
its.
is very important. It is very important in photography, Lena, because I
Mm,
know that when I was doing it, I really wanted to be a photographer. I know that my focus on food is not as good as when I want to take pictures of someone far away and
mm-hmm.
for the fashion industry. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, yeah,
But in Gambia, people will just hire you and say, "Oh, the Maibi restaurant," and I want you to go. They don't even know who is a fashion photographer. They don't know who is a medical photographer.
yeah,
There are different categories to this, and people don't even know that. I don't think people know that.
yeah.
So if you can
No,
talk about it, you as a professional photographer, I think it will help a lot of people to know that you cannot just go to any photographer and say take pictures of it. Because I remember doing a photo shoot. It was a disaster because the photographer is not. He doesn't know how to do. I directed the whole shoot. When I tell people that when as a photographer, you have to have skill of directing the photograph, the
yeah,
work.
yeah, yeah,
There has to be a director,
yeah,
someone
yeah,
who
yeah,
will tell you how to pose, what to do, where to
yeah,
sit, and but people don't just put too much time on that. So can we talk
yeah,
about that a little bit?
yeah. Yeah. I think, yeah, this is something I started thinking about a couple of years ago when there was some little bit of a mix up with some stuff. But I think um, it all goes back to the basic of photography, and that people don't really have an understanding of the history of photography and like just the basic, like to know some photographers who did this and who did that and whatnot. Like you said, it's very much just point and shoot. I think it's only in the past, yeah, year or couple of years that people are starting to kind of try and define themselves as, okay, I'm focusing on fashion or I'm focusing on weddings and whatnot. Um, but yeah, I think it kind of just goes back to that. That people are so used to just the whole point and shoot kind of thing, and they just apply it to anything, which is not really like, yeah, the work that comes out of it is not that great. Um, but I think it's also difficult being in this society because it's so small, um, and you have to, you also have to survive. That you kind of have to know how to multitask. So you will do, like I do it too. Like I've always been a portrait photographer. That's my main thing. I do portraits. And I mean I prefer doing more creative work than just a normal portrait. Um, but I do weddings. I do. I've done like hotels. Although like I think the thing is when you try and go out and do these things as well, that's when you realize your limitations because you're like, okay, I'm used to shooting portraits. I have a portrait lens. I have, that's what I
Exactly.
work with. Now I got to work with wide angle lens. Like now I got to think about how the sun shines in through the window. Like it's a whole different scenario. So, um, I mean, like I said, I guess to kind of survive as a photographer in this place, it's good to know the different areas, but you also got to know your limitations. Or before you say, I can do this and this and this and this, like you said, you go and study it just to say, okay, this is now a challenge. Somebody wants me to shoot food. Shooting food is not easy. Like it's not just, you
No.
know, yeah, and it doesn't necessarily have to be food. Actually, you might just use something else to make it look like food. To make, you know what I mean? But you gotta at least before you go out do some research because yeah, I feel that we really need to up our game.
You are being very careful with it because I'm not gonna
Well,
be very careful. I'm not gonna be very careful with it, Lena. Look,
I don't know.
I
I'm
have
just
been in
trying
your
to.
shoes. Mhm. I have been in your shoes, Lena. Let's call it spade is spade. I think
Uh-huh.
society plays a role in this as well. They just see anyone with a camera and think you know how to take photographs. No, not exactly.
Yeah,
In Gambia, Gambia is the only
yeah.
country that I see someone who is given a gift who's given a gift, like a camera as a gift,
Mm.
and they
Mm.
become overnight a photographer, which I think is so wrong. It is so wrong because they don't even know the different lenses. They don't even
Yeah,
know
yeah,
the
yeah.
importance of lenses. And what drives me crazy the most is they don't even know that cameras have like a lifetime.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
had arguments with people about cameras having lifetimes. Like they will hold your camera, wow, it's a camera be nice, and then they start going click, 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 click. I'm like,
Oh
look,
gosh.
do you know that cameras have lifetime? No, sis, camera regla. No, it's not camera regla.
Mm.
A new camera will take very sharp pictures. The older it goes, you can tell. As a good photographer, you can
Yeah.
tell it's losing its value. It is
Yeah,
going down.
yeah,
But
yeah.
Gambians don't even know that. I don't even advise people to buy second-hand cameras because I keep
Yeah.
saying when you buy a second-hand camera, maybe the lifetime of the camera is gone. You don't even
Yeah,
know
you
how
wouldn't know.
much.
Yeah.
You should know for a 5D Mark II, 70D, and all these Canon cameras. You should know the lifetime, how many shoots it should have. Do
Yeah.
they know that? No, they don't know that.
Yeah.
And when it comes to food and objects, these are the very difficult ones to shoot. And they don't even know that. They just think
Yeah.
you can just go aim at something and then just go boom. I
Yeah.
remember three years ago or 4 years ago, I went to the stadium. There was a football match, Lena. And I had this lens. Of course, it's a stadium lens where I
Mm-hmm.
can zoom anywhere I want.
Mm-hmm.
People thought I was crazy and they thought I was showing off. They thought I was showing off because I had this tiny camera. I know what the camera,
And a
but
massive lens.
this big. But so they didn't understand it. They came on before opera camera. So I just told them I was a Gambian to just enjoy the moment. Anyway, we have to. It is something. I'm sure a lot of people are shocked today that we're talking about this. People don't even know these things about being a photographer. The
Yeah,
amount of
yeah,
photographers that we have in Gambia is just too many. But
yeah.
I would advise people that do a lot of photography work, videography work. They need to contact the right people to do the job for them.
Yeah.
Because you, Lena, as a videographer or a photographer, when you see a project, you will not say much because you don't want to disappoint the person who bring the project to you, but you can tell it's crap.
Mm-hmm.
A videographer will look at a trailer. What people see is lerna, only lerna, but they don't even look at
Yeah.
the angle it was,
Yeah, yeah,
how it
yeah.
was supposed to be. They don't look at these things, Lena.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Just
I
make it
think
bright.
you're being very careful not to talk about it.
Yeah, 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 yeah. No, but it's true. It's true. I just, yeah. There's a lot of people that just go around. Like I said, I think that's with every field over here. Like you can just pick up anything and be like, oh, I'm a graphic designer because you got a laptop yesterday, or like, or whatever is in at the moment. Everybody's gonna be on it. Like, you
Yes.
know, I know when we we started Fashion Weekend, we were struggling to find designer. Then a couple of years later, everybody's a designer.
Yeah.
So
That's right. We will come to that.
yeah, yeah.
Anyway, let's go to your something else that you do. You're very passionate with because I know you have this line called Temple of Ray.
Yeah, Temple of
Is
Ra.
it Ray or Ra or whatever you
Ra.
call it?
Ra.
Yeah, Temple of Ra, and
Mm-hmm.
you do stuff with wood,
Yep.
right? I'm admiring
Yep.
your earrings. I don't know if it's
Yes,
part of
yes,
it.
that's it. Yep.
See,
That's it.
yeah, yeah. I was
Mm-hmm.
admiring your earrings. Yes.
Thank you.
Let's talk about that. Now we're moving on from photography because if we sit here and talk about photography, trust me, we will talk about it the whole day.
I
I've got
know,
lots of ideas.
right?
Never move on.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Temple of Ra.
Okay.
What is the history behind that? And wood. It's not easy to work with wood, especially to do creative stuff with it. So tell us how
Yeah.
it all started.
Okay, well, how it actually started. Now I'm back again to my exhibition in Dhaka. Like I said, there was a designer who's working with furniture, Bigay, Dance Thomas, the Gambian. Uh, she does amazing, amazing work. And she had made these beautiful tables um, that she basically replicated sun masks from Burkina Faso. And I just saw them and I was like, oh, I need one of these tables, da, da, da. And then I just looked at it and I said, but wait a minute. I said, I can see this as an earring. So then I just started thinking, and no, I could see it as a ring, actually. I was like, oh, wouldn't it be nice as a ring? But no. And then I just started talking to them and I was like, yeah, why don't you do that? Yeah, when you do it, just let me see it. Da, da, da. So I came back home and like this thing was just on my mind. So I was like, let me just try it. So I have this guy that I worked with a long time ago at Bakau. So I just went to him and I just made a sketch for him and I said, can we make this? So yeah, he made one and I was like, yeah, it's pretty nice, whatnot. So then I was wearing it, whatnot, didn't think much about it. And then people just started asking me like, oh, where did you get the ring? Oh, can I have one of those? So then I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna make these rings. So I started making the rings with him. Like we're just like I'll do the sketches and whatnot, and we'll sit together and he'll make them and whatnot. And then yeah, I just started playing around with the whole idea of the sun masks. And I was like, I think sometimes we get stuck in things that we make and everything looks the same. Like you go to the craft market and you see the same things you saw like 10 years ago. So I was like, I just think it's a nice idea to work with like traditional kind of things that we have because the sun mask you can buy it anywhere at the market, but just make it into different items. So I was making the rings, and then I just started having more and more ideas. And then Fashion Weekend was coming up, and everybody was kind of pushing me to make more things. So I ended up doing a full collection. So I made the rings. I made the earrings that you can see here. And I made like some headpieces, necklaces, and whatnot. But everything is very bold. So everything is kind of like statement pieces. Um, and yeah, and now I'm just trying to develop them a little bit further to find. So now I'm incorporating metal as well, so that it was really difficult to make rings with just wood because you got to get the right size and whatnot. So now I've incorporated metal so they can be adjustable and whatnot. So yeah, that's that project. So basically, it's all about it's all about masks, and it's basically based on the sun masks, and that's why I got the name from as well, Temple of Ra, because Ra is the sun god. So I thought that
Okay.
was nice.
Do you mind showing us the ring again? Because we need to
Mm-hmm.
just want to see.
Like this.
Ah, it's beautiful. These are things that I used to see when I was in Ghana. I see a lot of this kind of
Yeah,
things. Ghanaian love this kind of things.
yeah,
Is
yeah,
there a
yeah.
market to Gambia, Lena?
Um, I mean, my friends buy them. I guess I guess that's how you start. I mean, I definitely think there's a gap in the market over here where we think that people want a certain thing and like everybody wants to buy the same things from the market and whatnot. But I think there's a lot of people that are looking for different type of stuff. It's just hard to find it here. So that's why people tend to go outside and buy it. But there's a whole gap in the market. I mean, look at Adi, for example, with Daraja and her bags. People are loving
Daraja,
her
yes,
bags.
yes,
She just took it to the next level. Yes, we
yeah.
have leather bags in the market, but they all look the same. She just upped it a notch. She just, put a
Mhm.
little twist to it, and she got a super product. Like, so I definitely think that, there's a lot of things we could be doing. I think there's a lot of people who would want to buy things. It's just not here. And I'm the type of person, I just come up with things and I just do it. So if people want it or they don't want it, I want it. So I don't really care. Like I said, this project came about because there was something that I saw that I wanted for myself, and then it kind of just grew out of that. So yeah.
Do you think as Gambians we empower each other that much, or do we push or encourage people so that when they have a passion for something, we help them expose it? Do you think we really do that?
No, I think that's one of our main problems that we have, that we don't encourage each other at all. Um, I mean, the people I surround myself, we're all very encouraging of each other, but I think in general, what I see is that people just like to drag each other down, uh, and they don't, like, they see somebody succeed in something instead of being happy for that person and push that person and see the opportunity and that person growing for themselves also. It's like, I don't know, it's like you just want to spoil it for other people, or you just get jealous.
Mm.
Um, and I think that just comes from insecurities, because if you're
Yes.
secure in yourself and you see somebody doing something good, you'll feel happy for that person, and you'll be like, oh, that person has succeeded. Let me also try,
Mm.
or let me talk to that person and see how they did it, so I can
Mhm.
also try something, or maybe they can help me. But it's like you see somebody and you just, I don't know. It's just saddening, honestly. I can't. I just don't really like to surround myself with people like that. But I know that there's a lot of people like that around, and I just wish that people will find, like, if you just find the strength within yourself, you can do anything.
And
You don't have to.
it's sad that people see talent in people, but they just choose to ignore it.
Yeah,
They just choose to ignore it. It is
yeah,
very sad. I think that's one of the reasons why industry, like creative industry, is not really moving fast. And what they
yeah,
don't know is that industry could actually bring a lot of money into the country
yeah, a
because it is
lot.
under the Tory. Like, look at the way you're
Yeah.
dressed today. Um, if I was like from Jamaica, South Africa, or even here, from here, like could be white, half caste, or whatever you call us, come to the Gambia. These are the type of things that we want to buy to take home. Like, we will talk about your hair tie because that's your trademark. Anybody who
Mm-hmm.
knows you have turban stuff. You see, it's unique. Anywhere people see you, for me, mixed identity is me. One minute I'm this, next minute I'm that. But for you, whenever someone approaches you, they can identify you because it's like you have, that thing that, like, people normally say when you see a woman, the smile is what's, but with Lena, it's a combination, the smile, the head tie, and the earrings. So, yeah. So this,
You're funny.
me being a tourist in a country, I would go for things like this. It is beautiful because I would be going out of my comfort zone to buy something different.
Mm-hmm.
But the lack of encouragement in our people, like for instance, today somebody will come to the Gambia to visit me. I'm giving myself as an example to visit me, and they want something like what you're wearing. Instead of
Mm-hmm.
me to take them to you, I would rather take them to the tourist market
Mm-hmm.
and start looking everywhere for something that will never be there. And I will
Mm-hmm.
try and force the person to buy something similar. When I
Mm-hmm.
could have just contacted Lena. I can
Yeah.
contact Lena and ask, even if Lena is not the one, making it, I can
Mm-hmm.
ask you, can I buy your earring? Well,
Mm-hmm.
we just don't know how to do that. And that is
Mm-hmm.
part of empowering someone. That is part
Yeah.
of encouraging someone. That's part of, lifting someone up. And this is what
Yeah.
we lack in society. It's not only women nowadays. Men do that as well. It's
Yeah.
everyone.
Yeah.
Before it used to be women. But now
Mm-hmm.
I can see that even men are jealous of even women, holding high poses in society.
Mm-hmm.
It's scary.
Yeah. Yeah, but like I said, I think it all comes down to your own self-confidence. And I think
Mm,
that's something that we really need to work on. And it kind of goes hand in hand with creativity as well, because if
mm,
you're encouraged as a child to express yourself, and that that you're valuable, and your opinion and whatever you do is of value, then you get confident. And I think
mm.
here, a lot of the time, we just, I don't know, I don't think we really give that attention to children. And I also think, like I said, growing up, it's, I don't know, it just creates this division. Like, you look at other people and you want what they have, but you don't understand that you can actually have it for yourself. Even if, there's an abundance out there. It's not like this person has something and therefore you cannot get it, so you have to take what they have. No, they have it. You can also have it. You just, I don't know, but it's like we put so much negative thoughts into things that we can't even see that it's possible to have it. You know what I mean? Like instead of
And
just
self-belief. Self-belief is
yeah,
important too.
yeah,
Because if you don't believe you can do it, you'll never do it.
yeah, exactly.
And then when someone does it, you keep thinking, oh, she stole my idea.
Yeah.
There is nothing like stealing someone's
Mm-hmm.
idea.
Yeah.
You're just too slow to do it.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's a topic for another day.
Yeah, that's another thing now.
I can sleep here today with you.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's move on to you managing Royal Masenga. Because
Ah.
when I contacted him, he sent me back through like, oh, you have to go through Lena. I said, what's Lena got to do with this? He's managing me, and I'm like, oh, okay, then that will be easy. I know Lena, that's fine.
Uh-huh.
So,
Uh-huh.
but you know what? I like the discipline that I see in you, I see in him. Because it's like anytime I keep forgetting and I keep sending him information. And he would tell me point blank, sis, listen, Lena is not the one coming to the interview. You're the one coming to the interview. So this information you need it. He said, no, but it needs to go through Lena. And I
Yeah,
love that. I respect that. I still
yeah,
have the
yeah.
audios that we've been exchanging.
Ah,
I
he's
love
scared
that.
of
And
me.
that's I'm sure he's listening. So,
No,
yeah.
no,
So how
but
did that
yeah.
come into how did that come into the picture of Len the photographer managing you know
That's such a good question. Like, I think, I've always been into the music scene. Like I said, I've always been in the creative scene, and I think especially here, like when I first, when I was coming, even before I lived here, when I was coming on holiday, I was always into the music scene, doing little projects here and there, and I've known these artists for a long time. Uh, and music is another one of my passions, and I think I don't even know how he thought that I could be a manager, to be honest. Like, I'm like,
yeah.
like these are things that I've been thinking about for years. Like, oh, sometimes I'll see an artist and I'll be like, oh, if I could manage that person, if that person had like proper management, or
Mm,
or I'll see a model and I'll be like, oh, I could push this model or whatever. But I guess I just never really had the time to really focus on it. Uh, and also, I must say, like, this is not something that I've studied, but I do think that I have quite a
mm,
broad idea of what it takes. Um, and I have some little bit of management skills, I think. But yeah, no, but it's funny because it is something that's been on my mind for some time, and like people have been asking me in the past if I could manage them, but I haven't paid much attention to it. So when he finally came and asked me, I just felt like I was ready for it. And I was like, let me give it a try and see what I can do. And it's a lot. Like it's a full plate, and it's been very challenging, especially obviously this year with the whole COVID situation. Like we can't like things that we had planned that is not happening. So just trying to find alternative ways of pushing him. Um, but yeah, like I said, I don't really. You'll have to ask him how he picked me because I'm not really sure. But I guess he had just seen me out there and that I'm, quite active and always pushing forward. And like I said, when I do something, I go in 100% and I just I don't really see the challenges. I just push. So I'm trying this one out. I don't know, like if he's happy with it, but I'm trying. And same thing, I'm learning, going. There's a lot of things to kind of take over from somebody who's been pretty used to managing themselves. It's a lot to learn and to try and get used to the system and get with it. But yeah, we work in hand in hand, so
mm.
it's been good so far.
So it's something new. You're still learning, and
Yeah.
you're not sure if you're doing. I think you're amazing because I mean, um, if he if he if you send someone something and they keep referring you back to the other person, it means that
Mhm.
that person is doing a good job. Because if you were not doing something good, I'm sure he would just take it upon himself and then
Yeah.
do it himself. So yeah, I like
Yeah.
that, and I think we have to take it upon ourselves to start managing these guys because they lack the discipline in music. I think that's
Yeah.
one of the reasons why the music industry is not going that fast. It is going now, but it's not the discipline that these
Yeah.
guys lack. So having people like you doing that, I mean, and it's amazing. Well, hopefully, because you're a very disciplined person, hopefully we'll see you in the future managing many, many more artists.
Yeah.
Yeah, good luck with that. And you have a hi from Sertijan Seka. Hi, Lena.
Oh.
I am a fan. What does that mean?
Huh?
I'm a fan or I'm a fan?
What?
It's from Sertijan. Anyway, Seka.
Oh, okay. STS, what's up?
Okay. Now, if we say Fashion Weekend Gambia, your name will always come up, even if people don't know you, because you are very attached to Fashion Weekend. You cannot say Fashion Weekend Gambia without saying Lena. All right. Now, I think this is the beginning of the interview. Now, oh no, I'm joking.
Oh, okay. Just the beginning. Okay. Let's go for it.
No. Yeah, and I like the fact that when I called you about this interview, you said to me, sorry, I'm going to quote you. You said to me, I wouldn't want you to focus on Fashion Week in Gambia a lot because if I am going to talk about Fashion Week in Gambia, I have to talk about it with the other ladies on board. I respect. I'm so happy you said that. That means, you are very, like I said, it all comes in because I have seen a lot of people. They they're the founder of something, and they just want it to be me, 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 me. And I learned something from what you said to me. That I was like, wow, wow. She's not taking credit for everything. She wants Adi. Oh, I'm Adi. Lena, hold on. This is about you, Lena, not them. So we are going to touch on Fashion Week in Gambia just a little bit because it is part of you. You are the founder,
Yeah.
so we have to talk about it. And of course, I'm going to invite you guys again. We will talk about it as a team because I'm part of the team. I'm part of Fashion Week in Gambia. Whether you guys love it or like it or not, I am part of you guys. Anyways, yeah, Fashion Week in Gambia. How did it start? It and what is the inspiration behind it? Because to me, I don't know how people see it. To me, boy, you took the fashion industry to another level. Because if we handle Fashion Week in Gambia the way we're supposed to handle it, it will be like London Fashion Week, Paris Fashion Week, New York Fashion Week. But you're the founder, so let's go by what you say. Fashion Week in Gambia. What is the inspiration? And tell us a little bit about it.
Okay, so I think Fashion Weekend started off as one of those ideas again that you me and it was F Drame, um, and then it was a bunch of people. Ndefat was there, Yaus was there, Lamin Manga was there, Wilan was there. Like there was a lot of us, and we had this idea that we wanted to create an event that was supposed to be for everyone. Um, and really, we just felt like there wasn't much going on for the same thing again. There wasn't much going on for the creative industry, especially the fashion industry. And we wanted to create a platform for Gambian artists to be on. So yeah, we just came up with this crazy idea that we wanted to have like a whole weekend of fashion, and we was gonna have free event, and we were gonna have music, and we had a lot of ideas and things we wanted to do. So that's basically how it started. It was supposed to be a platform that we wanted to be as inclusive as possible, so that as many people as possible could benefit from it. So yeah, it started off in 2012. And the first edition, we did 3 nights, which was a little bit insane because we were not calculating anything. We were not thinking business whatsoever. We were just thinking, yes, it's going to be amazing. And that was it. And we went all out. We had booked Coco Ocean. We made sure there was food for everybody. We had calculated we're going to get 400 people, not having a clue, obviously, about the industry. And then ended up with like 100 people, I think we had, or something like that. and a huge bill. And then the second night we said we're gonna have it at a different venue with a different setup, and it's gonna be free. And we did that, and we had artists performing on stage. It was down by Duplex, and it was a party basically. And then the third event was also, we were like, yes, it's going to be another free day, and it's going to be a family day on the beach. And yeah, so obviously, like from a money point of view, that was a total disaster. But from a creative point of view, that kind of was a good thing because it pushed us to move forward, because we were like, okay, now we've made a huge loss. Now we're going to have to recuperate. So we're going to have to do another one. And also with that, I think the response was so great from the few people that came. Everybody just loved the idea of it and were very supportive. So yeah, that kind of kept us going, and we were like, let's just keep it moving. And then the team kind of changed the following year, and that's when I brought on Adi, and then Soma came along. And then, yeah, it just kept on growing and growing. And like I said, that's when I was like, I saw that it kind of sparked an interest for fashion. And yeah, it was a beautiful thing, like, because the next 1, 2, 3 years is like everybody was a designer suddenly. And obviously that also comes with the challenges, because like you said, you wake up and the next day you're something, like you call yourself something. So it's kind of, now we kind of, I think with time, we're just trying to set the standard basically, that it's all good and well that people get inspired and they want to be, a designer or a fashion photographer or, I don't know, a makeup artist or whatever, but we gotta up our game. We gotta set the standards to say that it's, yes, come with your inspiration, and then we create the platform for you, but you gotta make sure that, you work towards, how to work towards deadlines, how to, have good finishing, you come with the fresh ideas and all of that. But I'm talking so much, am I not?
No, you're not. This is what we need. We need to know. Yes. It's just, listen, you're not talking too much. You know what? The thing is, I'm a good listener. I keep quiet when people, I'm a good listener.
Yeah, so I'm talking a lot.
No, we're good to go. I'm a good listener. Yeah.
Okay, but yeah, basically that's how it started. Like, it was just, we just had a vision of creating an event that people could benefit from. Like, we wanted as many people as possible to benefit from this platform, and that's what it was, really.
And how did you, like, is it anyone can just come on board? I know some of the answers, but I'm not here to answer the questions. Just any designer can just come on board, or do you pick them? How do you identify the designers that are supposed to take the showcase?
Well, it's a little bit tricky, but what we do is we put out an application form on our website. And then with your application, you have to obviously say, why do you want to be part of it? A little bit of information, like how long you've been around and what you're specializing in and stuff like that. And then we ask to see photos of your collection so that we have an idea of what type of work that you do. Because what we try and make sure we keep a certain standard, which can be difficult. And I think it goes back to the same thing you were saying before, like, people are very jealous of each other and people don't like to share ideas. So sometimes, well, actually pretty much all the time, we don't get to see what the designers are actually doing. So, it's we just that's why we got to vet them to make sure they're up to a certain standard, because at the end of the day, like when we call for fittings and whatnot, they don't want to show up with their stuff because they're like, no, because the other designers will be there, they don't want to see what they're doing because they might steal their ideas. And you're like, well, how are they going to steal your ideas like the day before the show? But anyways, but what I'm trying to say with this is that it is a problem, and I think it all comes back again to like sharing ideas. It's important. Like, I think as designers, you should be interacting with each other and talking and see what's the new trends and what are you doing and what's the color this year and whatnot. And then, I mean, just go for it. If you're creative, you're not going to steal somebody's idea. You might get inspired by somebody, but you're going to make it into your own thing so that people can recognize you and your brand. Not you don't want to look like the next person. Like, if I'm going to make something, I don't want people to look at it and be like, oh, that's Yao stuff or that's Medun. they do amazing stuff, but that's their brand. Like I want people to see my brand and be like, okay, I recognize that's Lena's stuff. And that's the whole point of doing it, I think. But anyways, we're getting there. But yeah, that's basically the process. So
So,
anybody,
yeah, it's amazing how people think like that. It's crazy. It's just that shows you how narrow-minded some people are,
yeah,
and they're not exposed to life. Because the way I see things, Lena and me can do the same outfit, but one thing can change the whole outfit, and that's
yeah,
what people don't realize. On a team,
hmm,
your model can wear the same outfit that I have designed, but it depends on how they wear it on stage.
yeah,
And it depends on what you attach, like same outfit, but I have a brooch, maybe I have something. You see, this is what I don't understand. Oh, he the first I just my idea be like you said a day before. How can someone steal your idea?
yeah,
For me, I don't care if I was to ask to come in day before and ask, and the models let them wear my outfit. What is yours is yours. Nobody can steal your idea. What
yeah,
is yours is yours. If you're
yeah,
confident enough, you don't care who gets to see it day before.
yeah. Yeah, but it's funny. It just brought me back to one scenario when I was in school. So we had this thing where every project we had to create a sketchbook. So obviously you write down your ideas, you make the little drawings and whatnot, and you develop your idea until your final product. So there was this girl, and I didn't realize, right? But so we had done a sketchbook, and then the following term now, uh, we were doing something else, and then I just opened her sketchbook. So I'm looking at things, and I'm like, but you've copied all my stuff from my sketchbook. And I was so shocked because it's like she had literally copied my sketches. And I was
Copy
like,
and paste.
yeah. And I was like, but how could you do it? I was like, this is a creative course. You're supposed to come up with your own ideas. How do you copy somebody's
Yeah.
sketchbook? And I went to the teacher and I was like, have you seen like that she's like, it's the same thing I just submitted like a month ago. Like she's just, I couldn't even believe it. But the teacher was just like, you know
Yeah.
what? I know what the original is, so you don't even have to worry about it.
Worry about it.
And I think
Yes.
that's the thing we got to think about. When you are creative and you make something, you know why you made it. There's a thought behind it. If somebody comes to copy it, they wouldn't know your story. They wouldn't have the
Yeah.
same feeling. So whatever they're going to make,
Exactly.
it's not going to be the same thing at the end of the day. And by that time, you've
Totally
moved on
agree.
anyway. You're on the next chapter. So why worry?
Okay. Do you guys get to control what the designers bring on board? Because I remember there was something here. There was a lot of people were like, "Oh my God, Fashion Weekend Gambia legally upalle Poland swimming costumes and still stage me." So
We've
do you
had
get
them.
to control that?
No, that's what I'm trying to say here. Like we try to control it, but it's uncontrollable. Basically,
Yes.
we try to create a narrative and we try to kind of see what they do in and give them some type of directions and you just make sure that whatever comes out on the runway is, of a certain standard or, looks a certain way. But yeah, we've been shocked too. Like we've been shocked a couple of times. But I guess
Yeah.
that just
So
adds
what
to it.
what happened that moment when this designer came with swimming suits, and Gambians, we're not used to those kind of things.
Uh-huh.
How did the crowd take it, and what was the reaction from you guys?
The swimming suit, you mean the one that jumped in the pool, or which one are you talking about? The
No, no, no,
lingerie
we're
with
not
the
there yet.
ibadu?
No,
No?
no, no, we're not there yet. We're talking about, the
Year number
whole
two?
thing. It changed because
Ah,
I
okay.
remember, yeah, I remember girls were coming with bati riders and only bra and all that crazy stuff that you don't
Yes,
normally see in Gambia.
yes, there's been some moments. Yes. Well, I mean, it could be shocking, I guess, but and we've like there was a time when we were like attacked by people on Facebook where like how can you show this? You guys are this and that and
Exactly.
the
Yeah.
other and whatever. And we're like, well, why are you on our page?
Okay.
If you're not if you're not into fashion, why did you sign up to our page? So
Yeah.
I mean, it's a creative platform. You can't really control. I think, everybody to their own. Like, yes, I'm not gonna walk down the street wearing like lingerie, but somebody else might want to do that, and that's their prerogative. So we can't really control that. We do. I mean, obviously, we do try and keep to certain standards and whatnot, but it's a fashion show, and the thing is, if your product is underwear, how are you going to sell it if you're not showing the underwear? Like you can't.
You
I
want
don't
my
know.
honest
I
opinion?
think sometimes we, uh,
You want my honest opinion on that?
yes, yes.
I loved it. To be honest, I did. I know people will be like, "Fan mata na fan off." No,
Uh-huh.
I loved it. Like you said, if that's that person's line of business, how will they showcase it? And it's about time Gambian get used to things that is around the world. Look,
Yeah,
when a model come on stage or a designer design an outfit like that, it is just fashion. It is
yeah,
just showcasing that's their talent.
yeah,
There's
yeah,
nothing to it. It's not like this model just come on stage and start removing her clothes and doing some
yeah,
nonsense. No, models are very focused. They come on stage, do what they're asked to do, and go back.
yeah,
They're not they're not being rude about it. So I
yeah,
think I loved it, to be honest.
yeah,
I saw a lot of I heard a lot of people in comments like, oh, why is this happening? This is not right. Gambia is they start bringing this
yeah,
new
yeah. They
fake
went.
blood.
Yeah, they said before
All
when
kind of nonsense.
when Jama was here, this wouldn't happen, and it doesn't. But
Yes.
on a serious note, or like, yeah, we can all make jokes about it and everything. But on a serious note, I feel like, yes, like I said, we have a certain responsibility, um, being in this industry and what we put out there. But at that point, I felt like it's about supporting local business as well. These people have created a product that's unique. Nobody else has done it. It's not it's not models walking around
Hmm.
with, you know, tiny bras and whatnot on stage. It was proper underwear, like, comfortable cotton underwear is what we were talking about at the time. And I was like, this is a unique product. It's Gambian based. They employ all women. Like, wouldn't you support that business? Your only thing is that you can look at it and be like, oh, there's a half naked model on stage. Then you've totally missed the point. We're not selling the model, we're selling the clothes. So if you don't understand that, then, I'm sorry, but you're gonna have to get with it because that's what we're about. So, I'm all for supporting local business, and I think that sometimes we get it a little bit twisted. But yes, I do also agree that we have a certain responsibility, in what we do, and we have to make sure that it's tasteful and, it keeps a certain standard.
So what was with this model and the swimming pool? Was it part of the thing or what
A
happened
model in the
there?
swimming pool? Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, which year was that? Yeah. We had a design team, and her brand was basically sportswear and swimwear.
Yeah.
So, and that time we were doing the runway under pool. So she just went all out and said, okay, I want the model with the swimwear to jump in the pool. And, that just added a little twist to it.
Oh God. And how did people react to it? They thought the model
What?
fall in the pool or what?
No, no, no. I think they got it. Like, yeah, it worked. It worked. It was different. And I think at that time everybody was just amazed with the whole setup with the pool. So they weren't even like everything just looked
Exactly.
amazing at that time.
Okay. And the hijab thing,
Yes.
how did it come about?
Well, I think that, like I said, we have designers with doing all sorts of, lines of clothing. So I think lately, in the past maybe 4 years or so, there's been more people focusing on modesty wear. Um,
Modesty, yeah.
yeah, so, obviously we're all inclusive, so we thought that would be a nice as well. And I think the thing is, we'd like to keep it as broad as possible. So like I said,
Yeah.
we've had people who do underwear and we've had people who do modesty wear. And I think, this is something for everybody. That's it. That's it really. Like I said, when the whole idea of Fashion Weekend was as inclusive as possible. So, you know, we want people to come there and see what they like and not feel like, oh, everything here is just short skirts. I'm not going to wear it. If you like modesty, or if you come and you want to see some, I don't know, flashy blingy stuff, you can find flashy blingy stuff. If you come and you want to see some, I don't know. I mean, we just want to try and make it as possible, so that when you have a crowd of mixed people, there's something for everybody. It's a challenge,
Let's
but
talk
it's
about,
something that we want
yeah.
to do.
There's certain things that we cannot avoid. We have to talk. Like the Olaf would say, "Yobante ahala." Or when I have the flyer out there, of course you have one or two, three people that will send messages and say, "Oh, I want to ask Lena this. I want to ask Lena that." All right,
Mm-hmm.
so I have picked on one. Payments models. I had a model who sent me a very long message
Mm-hmm.
saying I felt when I was at Fashion Weekend, I felt unfairly treated. I said unfairly treated. Can you elaborate? And then she went on. You know how we use words anyway.
Mm-hmm.
I said, can you elaborate? She said, yeah, what I was paid was less than what others were paid. Of course, I know the answer to that, but I want you
Can
to
I
answer
ask
me.
first when this was? Which year this was?
I don't know which year. I didn't really discuss that. I got that message yesterday anyway, when I put the
Okay.
flyer out, and then she mentioned that, and I thought, okay, let's bring it out and ask Lena why is that
Okay.
happening. Of course, I think I kind of know the answer to that, but
Okay.
it's for you to answer because we
If
didn't
it's
discuss it at the time.
okay, you said she said she was paid less than other models.
Yes, usually Fashion Weekend. Okay, the way she put it, Fashion
Mm-hmm.
Weekend normally pays some models more and treat some models better than they treat some of us, something like that. Yeah.
Okay. I don't know what that
Yes.
is based on. But what I can say to that is we do not pay
Yeah.
models
I don't
different
want to
prices.
focus on that. Yeah, what I want to focus on is the payment. How do you
Yeah,
pay the models?
yeah, yeah.
Yes.
So we don't pay models differently. All the models get paid the same price, apart from the model that's the face of the event, obviously, because that model will have to go to a lot of events and talk and be the representative for the show and also do photo shoots. So that's the only difference. If any model has been paid less than other models, that means that they have not been showing up on time, because that was the only thing that we used to have in the contract that I believe we scratched because we felt that we cannot pay models what they are worth, because it's just not possible with the budgets that we have. Looking at obviously we have, it's expensive to run a fashion show. You have, like, we have about 40 models and we all have to pay them, and they all want, like, if everybody wants $5,000, that's a lot of money. So you got to look at what's possible and what's not possible. But if any, we used to have in the contract before that if models show up late or they don't show up at all to what's required of them, like rehearsals, we deduct money from their pay. So if anybody has been paid less than anybody else, that's the only reason why that has happened. But like I said, this is something that we scratched out because we felt that it wasn't really making sense due to the fact that they're not paid. We can't pay them their worth anyway, so we just kind of try to keep it at one payment for everybody.
Okay.
But yeah, but
I
this was
hope this
also
is.
something that was discussed actually, I think it was 2 years ago now as well, when the model, called, I want to call it the model agency, the model committee was called. Anyways, the model union uh, got together and they put up that they required, they said that they have a minimum pay and whatnot, which I kind of felt as part of the management team that was very unfair for us as well, because they pulled us up at the last minute when there was like 2 weeks left to the show, and we had been in communications with them since like the beginning of the year and been going back and forth and having given them feedback and trying to help them out and stuff, and we felt that we were trying to work together as a team to build up the whole industry, and then at the
Yeah.
last minute they wanted to pull this on us. So I think that year there was discussions also about paying more experienced models more than new upcoming models, obviously due to their experience. Like in any other work field, if you have 10 years of experience, you naturally you're going to get paid more than somebody's just starting off. But same thing, that was something that kind of got scratched in the end, and now we just try and pay a basic fee for everybody.
Okay, because I was thinking that was the answer for the lady anyway. Because for me, when she said that, and she was going on and on about it, and that's her opinion. I totally respect that. And we kind of had a discussion, and I said, okay, from what I understand, as my days of doing modeling in London, I don't think it should be different from Gambia. Of course, models are paid according to their standards. Like you wouldn't expect Naomi Campbell to get paid. You wouldn't expect me to get paid the same amount as Naomi Campbell. Hell no.
Exactly.
You know, and so I kind of like give that as an answer, but I said, okay, I'll throw it in. Maybe let me running.
But I hope. But I really do feel like if people are part of the show or have been part of the show and they have feelings like that, we do appreciate feedback. So rather than going around talking about it, we'd like you to approach us directly and voice your opinion, because like I said, this is something that we're building, and we want everybody to feel included, and we want everybody to feel that it's theirs. It's not our show. We just have the idea, and yes, we produce the show, but it's the people that's part of it that make the show. If we don't have the models, and we don't have the designers, and we don't have the light guy and the sound guy and the photographer, we don't have a show. So if people are not happy with the way we are doing it, we would rather, as a management, hear that back from them, so that there's something that we can work on and improving, and also, explain why certain things are certain ways. So, but yeah, I hope that whoever it was will come back.
Yeah, I would love to say something there. I mean, did you? Well, my opinion. Do you think it's a bit unfair to pay all of them the same amount? Because
I do think it's unfair.
Can I come in? Because you have. I know there are some of them. These models, they are really good at what they do, and they have been in the game for a very long time, and they deserve to be paid way more than these ones coming now. And don't you think by doing that you are going to lose the top models that are in Gambia?
You know what? I really don't know, because like I said, when this whole thing was brought up about setting standards for models and models' rights and this and that and the other, I did express, or well, not me personally, actually, we as Fashion Weekend did express to them, and we said, what you're asking for, we do not have it at this point. However, we can pay the more experienced models this, and the less experienced models this. And they said, but blank, no. They said, nope, we all want the same pay. So that's why we stuck to that. And we're like, well, if that's what the models say they want, that's what they're going to get. And I was even trying to explain to some of the more experienced models, I was like, do you really think it's fair that you are getting paid the same amount as somebody who's just starting? And I think they were just trying to be diplomatic at the time. But I really think that, like you said, I don't think it's fair. If you have a lot of experience, you should be paid more. That's just natural.
And then, this is where I find hypocrisy within us. I mean, they would stand there, some of these mothers, and be diplomatic about it and say, oh, that's fine, it's okay, we just love this. And they will be the same ones that will go out there and say, not fair. And I have been doing this for so many years, and I'm getting paid so much. It's like me following Masadama by hunger. And they start looking for someone to come up oh, we want you to manage us. Oh, we want you to like when weekend comes, if they pick me, you speak on my behalf. And it's sad. It's crazy when they're the same people that will come to you people and say, fine, it's okay. They need to learn to speak up. If you don't want something, say no.
Yeah. But I think also sometimes it's like a very tricky situation. Like I said, we're all about supporting people and building up the business, but in the industry, but at the same time, like, sometimes people want something and that they're worth it. but you just don't have it. Like I said, we do this event and it's based on sponsorship. We set a budget, and every year we're trying up certain things like the models pay, or if it's not the models pay, we want to make it more comfortable for them, or da da da. Because we're still looking out there to see how is it done everywhere else. And yeah, we want the models to feel comfortable, we want them to eat nice food, we want them to wear nice robes, we want them to get nice. Like I would love to pamper all my models to make them feel like queens so they can go out there and kill it. But if you don't have it, you just don't have it. Like it's not. Then do we cancel the show? Do we cut down on the amount of models? Like that's what we tried to do last year to be able to work with the budget that we had. We were like, well, sorry, we can't hire all of you again because we just can't pay you what we want to pay you. And then some still get upset, like you can't win because then they're like, oh, I didn't get picked this year because now we have 10 less models than we did the year before. So, it's a tricky situation, but like I said, we're working on it, and with time, hopefully, this country will also appreciate the arts and the fashion and the photographers and the artists and all the creatives, and be like, you know what, we're gonna pay you what you're worth. But until such time, we're just gonna have to work with what we got.
We're almost coming to the end of the show, but I must ask before we go, in terms of sponsorship, a lot of critics say weekends not getting the sponsors that they used to get before. They are financially strained, blah blah blah. Can we talk about it a little bit? Why is that?
Yeah.
Why is sponsors not coming on board anymore?
I don't know. We haven't really had that problem. No, I'm just kidding. No, but I mean, for us, I think we've been lucky in a way that we have a few sponsors that have been with us for a long time, and they just know what we deliver, and they just want to support what we're doing. But I think, I mean, it's just the financial climate, I guess. Like, people don't really see the value in putting money at events when they, need to pay their staff or whatever, you know. But I think a lot of the time also people don't understand the value. Same thing again, people don't understand the value in the creative industry. So even, yes, you may not be getting like 500 new customers, but your name will be out there, and with time, people will recognize your brand and they will come to you, or they'll associate you with certain things, and they'll be like, oh, I saw this at so and so. Yeah, they seem really cool. I don't know. I think it's just a lot of the time people just look at it very black and white, and I think a lot of the time it's also the way we approach companies for sponsorship. That you got to understand that when you go to somebody for sponsorship or partnership, it's about working together. So you have to create ideas for them to be visible. You have to be out there promoting their brands and figure out new ways, just try and come up with new ideas how to support them also. Because if they're giving you money to do something, it's not just because they want to give you money to put in your pocket, it's because you're delivering a service to them so that they can be seen. So I think a lot of the time when people go asking for sponsorship, they also have to understand that they have to bring some value to the play as well. What are you offering me? Like, if somebody comes to me and say, oh, can you, like, I've had people come to Fashion Week and also to say that can Fashion Week and sponsor so and so, and we're like, oh, we are actually depending on sponsors. But yeah, what is your product? Is it something that we want to associate ourselves with? Like, if we can also be seen doing certain things, is also a good look for us. So, it's all about working together.
Working together. And having said all that, I have noticed that now Fashion Weekend is growing. Even sponsors are not coming, but it's growing to the extent that I see people travel from all over the world. If not even many, but still, people are traveling from all over the world to come down just for Fashion Weekend. Because from what I see a lot of like there taking this seriously, taking proper pictures and taking it out there. What is Fashion Weekend benefiting from that?
Well, I wish I could say we are benefiting so much. But I think, No, but it's a beautiful thing. Like it's great to see how people from out, across the globe is paying attention to what we're doing in Gambia. I think that's the most beautiful thing about it. Um, and wanting to like showing interest. People are calling us wanting to come to be part of the show. When is it happening? Where can I buy tickets? Da, da, da. It's just nice to see, and it kind of, even though we haven't reached maybe as far as we would have liked to reach by now, um, it's nice to see that, and it kind of gives us still hope that one day we'll get the support that we're looking for to say that what, the fashion industry is a massive industry which the Gambia could be making so much money from. So we want to partner with Fashion Weekend to push you guys out there. It could be a huge thing to bring in like loads of people from outside just to come to the event, for people to be investing in the fashion industry, and flying in buyers and people. Like, there's so much potential in it, but it's like we haven't quite reached there yet. And maybe, well, I believe that everything happens in the right time, so I guess we're not there yet. Like, there's some things that we still need to put in place, like in terms of production and quality and whatnot. But I really feel that the fashion industry is so massive, and we are not even benefiting like a minute part of it as a country. And I think, and I really hope that this is something that we, as an event, can help push forward, because I really see a lot of potential in that.
Now we have come to the end of the show. I was going to ask one question, but I would reserve it because I think it will be a controversial one if I bring it on board. So I'll reserve it.
Controversy.
Anyway, no, we're not gonna have that, so we're gonna leave it anyway. But
okay.
What I can say, but if I say what I'm about to say now, I think people will kind of put pieces together and know what I'm trying to say. From my point of view, I think as designers, some of them should stop using Fashion Weekend to be known and then go their separate ways and start doing their own fashion shows. I think this is one thing that's disturbing the Fashion Weekend, because I think it's a great thing. Fashion Weekend is very great. If we take care of it the way we're supposed to take care of it, I think it can go somewhere else. Because to be honest, I don't think people are looking at the bigger picture. Some of these models are recognized from the stage of Fashion Weekend. Some of these designers are recognized from the stage of Fashion Weekend. But, like I said, we live in a very selfish society.
Yeah.
So people don't take things seriously. They don't even know. Let's go back to where we started. Like, we don't empower each other. We don't lift each other up. We kind of like use each other to get to where we want to get to in life.
Yeah.
And I think that's one thing that's going to spoil the Fashion Weekend. And the other
we will not be spoiled. Don't worry.
Sorry?
I said we will not be spoiled. Don't worry.
Yeah. So I think that is one thing that is just ruining things, and I think if only this could be controlled in a way that, because there's so much disagree to it. I used to do one myself, Gulindana. People keep saying, "Oh, when are you coming back with Gulindana?" It's a different concept. It's a Fashion Weekend. But if Gulindana can work with Fashion Weekend, why can't I do it? Because Fashion Weekend is it contribute to it. You never know. It can take the Gambia fashion industry to another level. So me distancing myself from it, it's just ruining it for us. So it all comes down to our people and their mindset. And I hope people will just change that. Anyway, Lena, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
See, I was not too tough. It was just a wahtan. Now let's take it in all of it before you go. And this style, Lena, I want to know why this style of you. Why this hairstyle? Always the hairstyle.
Well, no, I've changed now, Dee. Changed now. Now I'm coming with styles. now I'm shocking people. People don't recognize me anymore because they see me. They be like,
really?
Who's that? Yes. But yeah, I just like to I mean I do keep my hair out a lot more these days than I used to, but I just like to keep it covered, you know. It's just something that I've been doing for so long. I just feel comfortable with it, and it protects my hair and my soul.
You're protecting your hair from the dust, but you're not protecting your face and body from the dust. I'm just joking.
No,
Anyway,
bother my hair.
anyway, thank you for coming. We really appreciate it. Is there anything else you want to say before we go?
No, I don't know. I've been talking so much. I could be here till tomorrow. But thank you so much for having me. It's been really good. You?
It's
Now I
nice to
can't
have
hear you
you.
anymore.
Now the coronavirus is disturbing everyone. Can you hear me?
I now can
Can
hear
you
you
hear
say
me?
something about coronavirus. Yes.
Yes, I said with this coronavirus, the COVID-19, what is there going to be a fashion weekend this year? What are we expecting to?
We will definitely
What's
have
happening this year?
something going on. We're definitely gonna have something going on. If it's gonna be the regular format or not, we're not quite sure yet, but we definitely have some. Stay tuned. You are gone. You have disappeared.
Oh, yeah.
I can see that you're talking, but I can't hear you.
Designers and models were.
Hello, you disappeared.
Bye, on. I'm